Happy New Year, Gemini. All the best to you and yours. And honestly, what a year it will be. So we open in a very nice way, but I have to say it ends a whole lot better than it starts. So let's look at what is in store for you. We open with Mars traveling through your sign. So if you're Gemini rising or moon, you could feel extra setbacks, delays, challenges, and naturally energetic but restless. It's not a good sort of energy, so you might find yourself fidgeting a lot more than you normally do, wanting to keep your hands busy or going to the gym just to burn off all this excess energy. Be sure to channel it in a way which is productive and conducive to producing something good in your life. Luckily, there isn't far to go as he will station and turn direct on the 12th or the 13th of January, but he will stay in your sign until March the 13th, so he is there for quite a while. I definitely encourage you to be cautious of any sort of daredevil behavior because Mars does rule scars on the body, so we want to be sure that we don't do anything to cause injury to ourselves. During this time, naturally, he's aspecting your seventh house of relationships, so take care not to get into any arguments or disagreements with friends, loved ones, colleagues, business associates, but especially partners if you are partnered. In any case, there will be times for harmony in the year, but since we started talking about relationships, let's get into that. The nodes will change signs with the south node entering your fifth house of Libra, and it is the house of love. So naturally, what could this mean? You will have to endeavor to communicate better and more clearly. You could get a heady feeling or feel as though you're attracting spiritualized partners to spiritualize your love life, which is actually all well and good. That's actually very nice. However, it could also mean that you bring in some people from your past in the next year and a half when this transit takes place in July. Another thing it could be is people who feel very familiar to you, as though you've known them before in previous lifetimes, and you might have been together in previous lifetimes. When the South Node goes through a house, it can cause for things in that house to suddenly break loose and come in to your life with very little effort and very easily. So you might just have people throwing themselves at your feet, which is very, very nice. Who would say no to that? It sounds pretty good. Now, another thing to bear in mind is your seventh ruler, which rules relationships, Jupiter, is going to be changing signs as well, moving from the 11th house of friends, colleagues, and networks. So if you haven't met someone by the springtime who you meet through a friend, introduced at events or at some sporting event, at your gym, at a book club, something to that effect, when he enters your 12th house in the sign of Taurus on May the 16th, well, this is the house of foreign lands and people and isolated places. That means from May 2023 until May 2024, you surely can meet someone in a place you don't really expect, such as a place of isolation, like a meditation room or a yoga studio, a place of prayer or worship. So if you're a spiritual person, this becomes a very strong probability because, like I said, Jupiter is the ruler of your seventh, and Sagittarius is a pretty spiritual sign. Now, you could also meet a foreigner or meet someone while you're traveling or while they are traveling. Say they're traveling for work and they meet you at a restaurant or a hotel or something. So all these things become possible. Now, as we're talking about Jupiter, let's discuss what is going to happen when he leaves your 11th house. So I mentioned you could meet people for the first 4.5 months of the year, friends, colleagues, meeting new people, expanding your networks, and long-term goal setting, but especially around finances. All these things are looking pretty good while Jupiter is there. When he leaves, like I said, traveling could be something that you're interested in. In the meantime, once he leaves, if there's people who no longer serve you in your life and they need to go, you just need to let them go. If they wish it, leave them alone. You must surround yourself, and you will surround yourself with more people. Even if they are not that loyal to you, it doesn't matter. For the time being, there's some benefit in there. This is really your time to shine. So network heavily for the first 4.5 months of 2023. This transit will end. Now's the time you can really meet new people who can potentially connect you to something very, very valuable, or can even change your life. Now, in terms of romance, I did mention you can meet someone from your past or someone very spiritual. Venus will be spending, which is the planet of love, she will be spending all the way from early June to early October in the sign of Leo. So you could meet somebody also. Another option is locally through your area, in your neighborhood, or even introduced through your sibling or a cousin. Something like that. A friend so close you consider them family, because you have these houses really, really lighting up. So it can show that you meet through word of mouth, or you're set up on a blind date. Now, let's close this wonderful forecast with some pretty big themes. Will you reap what you sow? Well, I guess we'll find out in 2.5 years, because we've got mighty, mighty cosmic, big cosmic, karmic planet Saturn leaving Aquarius in your 9th house on March the 7th, and he will be in Pisces until May the 24th, 2025, 2.5 years. So when we consider what this means, let's begin with him still pushing his way, eking his way out of Aquarius. So the 9th house is the house of beliefs. You might have had a change in what you believe. Also, the 9th and 10th have to do with authority figures. So perhaps your father has not been feeling so right, and once Saturn leaves the 9th house and enters the 10th, there could be a turn for the better. Generally, we can see when Saturn goes through the 4th or the 10th house, one of our parents tends to feel a little bit melancholy, depressing mood, low energy, things like that, or touch wood, worst case scenario, issues with their health. So just bear in mind, reach out to your dad, let him know that you care, let your mom know that you care. No matter how old we get, our parents still think of us as they're small children, so it's nice to know, for them to know that they're on our minds. So we can go from sad dad to happy dad now. In terms of authority figures, if you've had some kind of issues or disputes with people trying to tell you what to do, that could come to a forefront. So especially with Mars going through your 1st house, if you have business partners or colleagues you don't really get along while Saturn is in your 9th, this could spell some kind of friction in the workplace or through your business. So just do your best to keep a lid on that, unless you are perfectly situated where you can freely do and say what you like. But generally, you can see some sort of issues in that arena. Now, coming to the big thing here is career focus for you. So I want to mention something. If there's, and Gemini does rule the hands. If there's any Geminis looking to publish something, write something, work with their hands, if they're into healing with their hands, crafting, sewing, cooking, it matters not. But especially writing, this is your year. Do not let the opportunity pass you by. From June the 5th till October the 8th, Venus, as I said, would be in Leo in your 3rd house. And at the start of the year, we do have Saturn in the 9th in the opposite. Why this is so remarkable is that the 3rd is writing and the 9th house is the house of publishing. So if there's something that you've been wanting to share with the world, now is really the time to consider it. Venus normally does not spend such a long time in one single sign. This happens once in a while. So definitely take the opportunity. Gemini is known to associate with the 3rd house being the 3rd sign. So if you're looking to repair a relationship, especially with siblings, a relationship to some friends, to your community, to your neighbors, diplomatic Venus can really help with that. If you're looking to put out some kind of written work, be it through, digital medium or physical print, this is also excellent. Training, certification for some kind of new skill to increase your job trajectory, that is also excellent for this year. So starting early this summer, really, really start to plan where you would like to be by the end of the year. because Venus will help bring all of that in. So surely, even though she's a very lazy planet, you don't have to be a lazy person. Really keep pushing. I definitely believe in you. I have a Gemini rising friend who changed careers recently and now is thinking of changing careers again. And they have picked the absolute best medium to do so, which is digital work. So working online, and you have so much help this year in the third house and the 11th house. So surely, if anyone's going to go viral and blow up online this year, I've got my money on you and your sign. All right. So working online, from home, internet, consulting, financial industry, investments, speculative wealth, or event planning, some kind of healing. Now, listen, I don't play favorites with astrology or in life in general, but as I said, a friend of mine has this ascendant, and I saw this coming from 18 months ago, and I said, I can't explain it, but you were going to do something online. And they changed jobs once, getting a little bit closer, and then she made the leap again. So I really feel if you wanted to make your mark in your professional life, this year is the year that your sign is carved out to do it. So stay the course, focus, and definitely don't quit. As I said, giving up is not an option, Gemini. Keep pushing. I believe in you. And as I said, Saturn and Pisces will come through. So you will definitely be taking this very, very seriously. He is the planet that gives us focus and hard work. Now, on that note, you might experience some work-related stress, whether you change careers or not. So in terms of health issues, of course, there could be episodes of melancholy and low mood as a result, and you have to do everything in your power to avoid burnout. If you're considering self-employment, you can lay down the foundations for that now. Apart from that, health-wise, just consider sleeping a bit more and educating yourself on what works for you. So take the reins and take control of your well-being, because as Jupiter makes his way into your 12th house, it could make you a little bit sleepy and give you a bit of wanderlust. So, traveling is very tiring. So we have to balance out rest and adventure. Thank you so much for being here and listening. If you would like a personalized, detailed reading, you can find my information below in the description box. Look up Guru Grit Readings. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best, Gemini. Bye bye for now.